So anyway, I think the next thing we should jump into, and I have them in front of me, is our current set of publications, which is in no small measure the most important thing we do here. And but the publications are a bit like the tip of the iceberg. All the work we do on pricing and in software development to help make the pricing possible and to keep track of auction records and bids and things like that show themselves in these publications. And we most recently upgraded the Greensheet for 20 odd years. This publication was printed on photocopy paper basically, and 16 pages. And now just this last month in September, we introduced the full color Greensheet. It's a very similar format to the other publications in terms of the quality of the paper, things like that. And Patrick spent a lot of time adding hundreds and hundreds of price listings. So I'll let him describe that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very exciting development, something that we had been planning for 3 years. And the biggest singular change is the fact that we're able to now list virtually every single Friedberg number that exists. With the only major exception is nationals, because nationals are not collected by Friedberg number; they're collected by region. So that's
and charter number. And
so that's not really that necessary. But for large size, all the different type notes, we list every single Friedberg number, and what that really has done is allowed us to be much more granular in our pricing, because I think for too long the currency market kind of was oversimplified in its pricing, and so it's been a lot of fun actually being able to come up with all this data, because my biggest, and it still is, contention is that there's a lot of notes out there that are much scarcer than people realize. And maybe a very small segment of dealers and collectors knew it, and that held prices down. But hopefully now, as this market gets wider, people are less hesitant to go out and buy these scarce notes, because I don't know any other area of numismatics where you can buy a note where only 15 exists for $4,000. I mean, it's pretty crazy if you think about it. You can really acquire some really cool stuff for not a whole lot of money when you compare it to U.S. coins.
Right. And we think that it goes back to our philosophy. Our operating philosophy here is simply that this information is vital to a healthy marketplace. And people don't know that a certain lumping all these same 4 or 5 issues of signature combinations and things like that into the same Friedberg type, as it were, all it did was destroy value. So we're trying to create value by showing people, these specific Friedbergs are worth more. Exactly.
And so just to highlight the October issue, which is being printed as we speak, some of the things that we looked at for October is we've fully revised some of the early legal tenders, which they're one of the weird areas where it's like 16A, 16B, 16C, 93A, B, and C. And so none of that stuff was priced before. Even our catalog wasn't that correct on it. So we cleaned that up, priced those. So we added another 10 listings, I'd say. Another big issue that was not possible before was the third series of fractional notes. That's the series that has by far the scarcest numbers. And a lot of those were not able to be on their own line. And so all that pricing has been revised, which was great because there was a nice collection of that sold at A&A by Heritage. So it was kind of a perfect timing for that. And then still kind of slowly adding more colonial and Confederate prices for the online only users. While I don't think we'll ever print notes for Confederate currency, it's a very actively traded market. And over the next month or so, I'll be adding pricing for all the types 1 through 64 to our online price guide. So that's pretty exciting too.
It is, because at the moment it's impossible to really know what these things are worth. So thank you, Patrick, for doing that.